Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Craft to Believe After and welcome to another video. Now you guys, this week is just going to be a very relaxing crochet catch up, just chatting about the projects and the things that I've been busy with during the last week or two. Just a little update on what I've been doing in between all of the collabs. First the Mushroom Cat collab, now the epic Amigurumi World Tour, on which I will chat a bit towards the end of the video. But for now, I just want to show you some projects, what's been going on. So let's jump right into it. Now, I bought fairly recently a couple of crochet books, and I think I showed this specific book. I can't remember if I showed it on a video yet or not, but it was shown on so many videos, and I was dying to get this book, which is called Cute Crocheted Animals. And it's by Emma Varnum. Now, I do have one of her other books that I think I've made something from previously, but the reason I really wanted this book is someone I've been watching now, I can't remember the channel, she made the bunny from this book and it turned out absolutely adorable. So I really wanted to have this book in my life. I knew even before the book arrived that I was going to make, if there was a bear pattern in it, which there is, I was going to make the bear. But you guys, things went horribly wrong. And I don't often show you like the dud projects in my life. I just tend to ignore them as if they never happened. And I move on and I show you something else that I did complete. But this week I thought, let me show you that, like, I've got many animal parts, heads, bodies around me at any given time these days. But they are all patterns that I'm fairly certain that I will get around to eventually. What I'm going to show you from this book turned me off so much that I don't think I will ever try this pattern again. And there's nothing wrong with the patterns in the book. They're written beautifully. They are in UK terms, but I mean, lately I have not had any problems with working from UK terms. As you know, I've actually got now a pattern in Crochet Now, which is a UK magazine. So I've written a pattern that's in UK terms. So I don't have a problem with the switch. It comes fairly easily after a while. But for some reason, and I will show you guys what happened. Now, the actual bear pattern is fantastic. And what I love about these patterns, so I will try some of the others, and I think I'm going to try the bunny next to get me back on the horse, as it were, regarding this book. Because I don't want to discard the entire book just because I've had a little run-in with this bear pattern. Now, this book is great because you get the animals, and all of the animals fit these removable clothes. So no matter which of the animals you do, you can interchange the clothes, which I think is a brilliant idea. So I was super excited. I mean, just look at this face. Now, I loved the face shaping. I loved how it looked. It's not often that I do bear patterns where you start at the muzzle and work your way to the back. You know, for the most part, I like personally, also when I design patterns, I like doing bears from the legs up, or if you do a separate head and a body, but always you start at the top and you work your way down. I very rarely do patterns for bears that start at the muzzle, and this one was so interesting. I mean, I really liked the shape of the face. This one, I mean, look at that cute little granny square bag that she is holding. I just loved it. So when this book arrived, I picked out the yarn and I started almost immediately. And almost immediately, my problem with this pattern came in. And I always start with the face or the head. So unless a pattern specifically starts with the legs, moving up all one piece up to the head, I like in this case where I knew it was going to be separate body parts, I like starting with the head. I like having the little face ready, because then I'm probably more likely to finish it if those little eyes are looking at me, sort of pleading for me to give them a body. So I very rarely follow the exact way in which a pattern is written in terms of the order. So I like, if it's separate head, separate body, I do like starting with the head. And this is the head that put me off the entire bear pattern. My issue is that when I read the first couple of rows, you know, if you've been crocheting for a while, you sort of can imagine a shape that something is going to take. So you know that if you do a pointed piece, you know, sort of how the increases will be placed. If you do a flat, this is like a flat part, you do gradual increases. So you start with 6, then you do increase in every stitch, then you do 1 single crochet and an increase, then 2 single crochet increase, and that forms a fairly flat disc, which you then, once you start with just going round and round, it forms a ball shape. So for the most part, most amigurumi shapes are fairly similar. So when I read through the start of the face, I actually thought the pattern starts at the back, because it starts with these gradual 1 single crochet, increase, 2, increase, 3, increase, and that will give you a flat part, like a flat disc to start with. And as I continued with the head, I found out that flat part is the front, and there's no way I mean, I don't know how they got that shaping starting with a flat round disc, unless it's not stuffed at all and you pinch like the sides in or something. I thought I'd read it wrong. I read it through a couple of times after I made the head. I tried to see if there was some explanation of face shaping. I couldn't do it. And you know, I went as far as trying to crochet the ears to see if it will help the situation. I did exactly as they did. I put safety eyes in. I did the shaping of the eyes as they explained. I've got the little safety nose exactly as it is in the pattern. But he has got a flat face. And I mean, I probably could have rescued it. I mean, if I completed him and no one knew what the pattern looked like to start with, I'm sure it would have been a very cute bear, but I was immediately put off. You guys, isn't it terrible? Like, I felt so bad because the pattern is really, for the most part, I mean, the instructions are well written. I really like the images, you know, that they've got in the book. I like the variety of outfits. But I couldn't once I did that head. I mean, I thought when you look at the shaping of the bunny and you read the pattern for the shape of the bunny's head, this is what I thought the pattern would look like for the bear. But it didn't. And I cannot get past this flat-headed bear. So I am calling the project there. So this guy, this is as far as he will ever go. And I'll probably chuck the head in the bin. Honestly, there's no point in even keeping it because I will not go back to it. I will do this bunny. Because the person I saw, I wish I can remember. If I can remember the channel name, I'll put it on the screen. I think it's something like Moena, or it's a lady that I started watching recently. Really fun lady to watch. She did a beautiful job on this bunny. So I definitely will go back to the book because I think the patterns are really, really cute. I just wish my bear had that proper muzzle in the front and not this I ran into a cupboard and never recovered look. This is what it looks like to me. And I cannot look past it. I'm very sorry. You guys, I know. It's terrible and I could have rescued it, but I wasn't in the mood. Anyway, that is that about that book. So once I do the bunny, I will report back to say if I've had a better experience. Because I'm not gonna, I did, as I said, I think I've worked from one of the other books before, really enjoyed it. The patterns are very clearly written. They I think, fairly beginner friendly. There's no weird shapes, there's no difficult increases, decreases, or shaping or whatever. So I think it is a fairly good book to follow, but I want to have a better experience with the head. So that's the start of that. And I was really disappointed after that, but I had this colored yarn out, which is my Rainbow Cotton 86, which is a sport weight, a yarn weight 2, and I use a 2.5 millimeter hook. So I had this yarn out and I thought, just come what may, I am making a bear. I'm not even putting the yarn away, which led me to Etsy and buying some patterns, and I will get into that a bit later on as well. But anyway, I bought a bear pattern because I was adamant that I was going to finish a bear with a yarn that I already had ready. So I bought a super cute pattern, and this is it. So I will link this pattern down below. I actually think currently, because these patterns aren't cheap, they're fairly expensive, but they're on like 70 or 60% off at the moment. But I mean, crocheters or pattern designers, they've got regular sales, so just keep an eye out. But this was a very cute one, and it had a pattern for the outfit that you can make it into a little boy or a girl. This is part of the girl outfit, which I really liked. Although for the pants, and I will tell you again what happened. So the bear itself, the actual bear, worked up wonderfully. I didn't have a single issue with making this bear. My issue came in with making the top. So I followed the pattern exactly, and where it's supposed to close in the back, so it is a little off center, which I don't mind. It's actually quite cute. But the ends of the shirt is supposed to sort of come together right in the middle, and I've got a massive, you can see here, overlap. So my shirt was way, it fit perfectly. The top, like the arms, where the arms are placed, the size of the front, if you look at the front, like everything fit beautifully, but it was too long. Like I had this massive overlap. And right there again, you guys, I was just so annoyed by this shirt not fitting properly that I did my own thing with the pants. So I did some of the same elements that they have for the pants pattern in the book. I have this very cute way of doing like this little rib on the top, and then you make it into a bow. I really like that, so I did incorporate that part, but in the end I just did my own thing with the pants. But this was such a nice bear pattern. I really enjoyed it. She actually comes with like little sandals and a little crossbody bag and like a little headband that you can still crochet. Quite a few items, but I was happy with the bear just like that. So my run-in with bears the last couple of weeks has been a bit of a challenge. But anyway, be that as it may, I really like how this bear came out. I love the colors I use for the clothing. It's like a light pink. I love this turquoisey teal, like a darker turquoise, a lighter, and then matching it, making a little bow with the same pink that I use for the shirt. I think it goes really well with the very dark brown. Again, this is I think Friends Cotton 86. It's like a mixture between Friends Cotton 86 and Rainbow Cotton 86. They work really well together. And with it I use a 2.5 millimeter hook. So the Rainbow Cotton and the Friends Cotton is 100% cotton. It's a sport weight size 2, one of my favorite cottons to work with. Then after that, we are into the Cal that Litsa over at Coco's Crochet is hosting. It's been fantastic. So every 2 weeks since January, she's been drawing a project. It's small, random things that you can do for markets or gifts or whatever. I just joined in to do something different than my usual amigurumi every 2 weeks. And we're on the very, very last project. I'm so sad. It was such a fun Cal to be a part of. And the very last thing that that was pulled from the little basket was crochet embellishments, which is a very broad category, actually a perfect category to end off with, because you can really do anything in terms of embellishments, either embellishing projects like blankets, bags, amigurumi, whatever. Embellishments covers it all. And I have been really wanting to try making little brooches, and this is what I did. So this is a very nice, I don't even know what you call this type of fabric. I bought these gift bags from Amazon, and I just thought it would be really fun to crochet some small brooches or pins that you can add to gift bags. So these are just 2 that I made. You can see what they look like. So just to like spruce up a plain bag a little. So I made this bunny, was actually a free pattern. I think it's from Elisa's Crochet. I will link the pattern for both. This was a paid pattern. It was a pattern pack. I think it had 4 different animals in the pattern pack, and then the bunny had a bunny and a bear as a free pattern on the blog. So that was a lot of fun to make, and it's just, you just add in those regular pin, you can see it, those pins that you can either glue or I crocheted on. So that was so much fun. Litsa, thank you so much for hosting this fantastic Cal. I cannot wait for the next one. After that, you guys, I've been suffering from pattern choice, I don't know what, like pattern indecision. And it is the fact that I've got so many patterns that I actually cannot decide what to make. And in the end, I don't make anything at all, which is so frustrating for me. So I love crocheting. Like, I cannot sit and watch TV without having something in my hands while I watch. So it's very frustrating, this pattern indecision that I've been having lately. So what did I decide to do when I can't choose a pattern? I decide to design something. Now, in between all of these projects, as you know, I will have another pattern in Crochet Now magazine at the end of the year. I think it's the October issue, which is a Christmas edition, and it is a reindeer. Now, I will show you. I don't have the final one because that's already been sent to the magazine. So the actual toy that you see in the magazine is one that I crocheted. So in this month's magazine, where you see Sunny the sorbet bear, that was the sample that I crocheted and sent to them, and they use it for the photos. So my reindeer that I crocheted is already off to the UK, but I will show you a little bit of the variations that I did working up to my final reindeer. And this is a very long process, and this is why I don't do pattern designing a whole lot. But this leads me into another pattern that I've just designed based on my pattern indecision debacle that's been going on the last whole week. It's been actually like a week, probably more than a week, then this has been going on. But let me show you quickly like the line up, the lead up of my reindeer. So this is the first one I made, which while I was making him, I was writing down the pattern, and I will show you just quickly what my notes look like. So I had sort of an idea in my head what I wanted to design. I wanted him to have a little coffee mug. I wanted him to have this, it's a removable little sweater vest. I wanted him to have a Santa hat. So this is the first one I made. And this is, so while I'm doing, for instance, the feet or the whatever, because the boots, the legs, the body, the head, that's all one piece. So I sit, and as I crochet, I make these little scribbles. So after a while, if I see something doesn't work out, I reword it or I recalculate. So on this one, his legs was a little short. So when I finished him up, I'm like, no, I don't like the shape of the legs. It's just a little too short. I'm going to try another one. Then I designed one without the Santa cap. I wanted to see what it looked like, just as a regular reindeer with this little sweater on. I tried a slightly different pattern on the little sweater vest, and I actually really liked this pattern. But well, okay, I'm Afrikaans in my regular home life, so I don't speak at home any English. With my husband, with my kids, we speak Afrikaans at home. So for me, sometimes it's difficult to try and put into words a description of a pattern that would make sense to the person reading it. So in this case, even though I love the look of this zigzag, I had no idea how to explain this stitch in a pattern format. So I went back to my original sweater pattern, which was this one, which is a much simpler version. I fixed the length of the legs. In the end, actually, the final sweater, you know, did change a bit at the bottom as well, and the coloring. So this is actually what the reindeer will look like: little green boots and red and a little mustard colored. This one is yellow, but the actual pattern will be mustard. And the yarn that I'll be using, or that I'm using for all the patterns that I'm doing for Crochet Now, is this fantastic cotton, which is Rico Rumi DK. And this exact color, which is a brilliant, I love it. It is a beautiful, beautiful caramel color. This is one of my favorite colors to make bears actually with. But this is also my reindeer color. So there you have it. These are, not these, a mixture of these is the pattern that you will see in Crochet Now in October. So I'm super excited for that. Now, in between me doing my sample to send off to the UK of my reindeer, and after my whole bear incident, I thought, okay, now what am I going to make? I couldn't decide. Pattern indecision is a real thing, you guys. I don't know what's going on with me. So I thought, okay, well, while I decide which pattern I want to make, let me quick design something. And with all the mice that's been going around with Helen at Mousy Makes Pod, she has this mouse along that's going on, and I've been seeing all of these mice. I loved it. I thought, I'm going to design a mouse. And I did. This was the cute little girl that I designed. I thought it's time I did something other than a bear. So I did this cute little girl. Because I like the toys that I designed to hold something. So in her case, I designed a little book. So this is a little book. It's now sewn onto her hands. It's got pages in it, and she's like a little flower collector or documenter. What can I say? She just loves walking around, documenting all the flowers that she finds, doing little images of them. This is her hobby, flower documenting. I love this incredibly obnoxious bow that I gave her. That's probably heavier than her head, but I really, really liked how she turned out. She's such a cute little mouse. I really like how she turned out. And then, of course, when you design, you have to do it more than once to make sure that the pattern that you wrote down, because of all the scribbles, does it make sense when you do it a second time. So I had to do it a second time. Now, on this one, I used, again, my favorite Rainbow Cotton 8/6, a sport weight yarn with a 2.5mm hook. And when I decided to do her again, just to test all the basics, I've been watching my friend Mary over at Slow Crochet. She did for the mouse along the cutest little brown mouse, and I thought I'm going to try my pattern using this lovely caramel color. So this one I made all in Rumi DK, which is a 3-weight yarn, and it's interesting, and I will show you the size comparison now. But for her, I wanted to try something different for her head than the bow, although I do like how the bow turned out. But because she's like into flowers and flower documenting, I thought I wanted to give her a little flower crown almost. So in this instance, I made her a little flower headband. She almost looks like a little ballerina with this pink outfit. But all of this whole mouse was made with Rumi DK 2.5mm hook. But what's interesting, so this is a 3-weight yarn. This one is a 2-weight yarn, but my 2-weight yarn mouse is bigger than my 3-weight. So this one is a tiny bit smaller than this one, which is interesting. So obviously I think Rumi, I don't know if they're a UK brand of yarn, but they are definitely on the thinner side of a DK, where the Friends Cotton and Rainbow Cotton 86, the sport weight, they are definitely on the thicker side of a 2. And I've used them together in a few different projects. So the DK and the sport weight, even though the sport weight is slightly thicker, I've used them within the same projects, and they've worked lovely together. So there you have it, my newest design, and I finished this girl up this morning, a little flower headband. Now again, I'm back to pattern indecision after this. So let's see if I can finally decide what to make. I don't know, you guys. Let me know what you are all working on. You always inspire me to try something different, something new. It's always nice to know what's going on in the world of crochet. All right, friends, very, very quickly, last 2 things. Hooking up with books that I'm doing with my good friend Caroline. 15th of July is the reveal video for the book that we've been doing, which is The Marsh King's Daughter. So if you still want to participate, you're more than welcome to send myself and Caroline a photo of your The Marsh King's Daughter inspired make. Last thing, the epic Amigurumi World Tour. The 2 books has been sent into the world. Yes, you guys, you have overwhelmed me with your participation into this girl. I've loved it. I've received so many whale photos for our Hello From pages. I had so many people that wanted to join the posting part that one entire book is only sent to the US. So 27 people within the US will receive the first book, or will be passing on the first book. Then 27 people from all different countries around the world have filled the second book. So my first book is on its way to well, it's in the US actually already. It's busy clearing customs. So within this week, we will be hearing from the first recipient within the US which pattern they're going to do. And then my book that's been sent within Europe first, it's on its way to Luxembourg, which is fairly close to Denmark. Hopefully also this week we'll be hearing that project. I'm so excited, you guys, it's fantastic. The support for this collab has been enormous, and I thank you all so much. It's so much fun doing these things with you. You're amazing. I love it. I love being part of your life, and I love having you be a part of mine. All right, friends, this has been a very long video. I hope you've had a lovely weekend so far. As I say, let me know what you have been working on. I need to get over my pattern indecision and get going on something. All right, friends, that's it for this week. As always, and until I see you in another video, stay safe and stay crafty.